Hi everyone. Hear me? Thanks for joining. Welcome to Dinner Live. If you've also seen part of that title, I'll be talking about anxiety that I faced today, which was very unexpected. Give me a second. Just looking for a chord. Okay. Thanks for being here. I'm not feeling very energetic today, so it's just a chill dinner. Hi, Bertha Hunt. Just a chill dinner. And why not energetic? It was a thanks, Krishlin. Well, I started off today. If you were at my live this morning, you know that I had a slow start to the day, which was fine. It was me resting. But then when I went into town, I realized that I'm facing all of this anxiety, and there's like a subtle trembling in my body. So I can't really pinpoint what is this about. Is it recent? Is it childhood? Is it something to do with my life currently? Um, and then when I got home, I even planned to, go get breakfast somewhere, which I did. I got croissants from Woolworths, and I got a short coffee from McDonald's. And while I was sitting there, I was still facing that trembling, that anxiety in my body. And then I realized that, I can't even do the thing that I wanted to do, because even I'm sitting in a safe space in McDonald's trying to clean out my OneDrive, um, organize folders, rename certain things so I can easily find them. And the anxiety was just hitting me so hard that I had to go home, because I realized I'm not being productive here. I'm facing challenge with getting anything done. Then when I got home, I meditated, and the anxiety dissipated. So it was exhausting. It was definitely exhausting for the anxiety. I'm washing dishes. It was definitely exhausting for the anxiety to dissipate. It felt like, let's say you're facing stress, you go to the gym, and then you are tired afterwards, but you do feel like you did something productive. Similarly, with the meditation that I did, it reduced my anxiety significantly, but I still feel like I exerted a lot of energy. So that's why I'm not very high energy today. And if you want to learn the meditation that I do, I have a meditation course through the link in my bio. So if, like me, you also face anxiety, that meditation is very, very helpful to dissipate that anxiety. And once you're done with it, your body feels lighter, your mind feels lighter. And so I really advocate, I mean, it's exactly the reason why I created that course, to share the meditation that I do. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that today, that, you know, meditation, it has really changed how I navigate anxiety. It has changed whether anxiety is solvable. A lot of questions that I get about meditation, a lot of questions that I get about stress, a lot of questions that I get about anxiety is, how do you deal with it? How do you avoid it? How do you overcome it? And I just shared with you right now that the way I deal with it, the way I overcome it, is with meditation. Now, let me remind you that when you do the meditation to dissipate your anxiety, it doesn't mean that anxiety is gone forever, especially as someone that grew up in a chaotic household where your nervous system was wired to be stressed out, burnt out all the time. It might pop up later at a different stage. It might pop up in a different environment. But once you know the technique to dissipate your anxiety, and when I say dissipate, I use that word very intentionally. Dissipate, like, what example can I use? Like, if there's smoke and the smoke clears, that can be dissipating. If you have oil on water and you drop a drop of soap, you see the oil separate, that can be dissipating. So if you ever do face anxiety, consider checking out the course through the link in my bio. And it's 12 lessons on how to meditate, what meditation objects to use. And I'll tell you up front that the meditation object to use for dissipating anxiety, I call it Formless Infinite. It's where you meditate on like empty space. Meditate on empty space, and you start to feel like if your body was a pressure cooker holding a lot of volatile energy, that you don't just open the pressure cooker once your food is done. You use that valve so it can release slowly. And that's exactly the same impact that the meditation had to help me out today and whenever I do it. So I cannot advocate for that meditation course enough. Click the link in my bio, and it's very clearly labeled there, meditation for stress and anxiety full course. So take advantage of that, especially if anxiety is a challenge that you face like I do. And let me tell you, before I discovered meditation, I didn't really have a coping mechanism. It's not even a coping mechanism. I didn't really have a technique to identify the source of anxiety inside my body, to know that I'm facing it, and to be able to have a plan of action, a practical tool to be able to dissipate it. So meditation, meditation, meditation. It's very, very helpful for anxiety. Okay, I just did my dishes. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want to make some milk tea. I'm sure you can tell that I'm not high energy today, and that's okay. It's not easy to be high energy all the time. I even did think to myself, like, should I not do a live this evening because I'm feeling low energy? Not really low energy, not high energy. And then yeah, I do want to do a live. I don't want my lives to always be me trying to put on hey, an upbeat face and everything is good. And yeah, I must be able to do it regardless of what's happening. So thank you. Hi, Wulishka. You mentioned that your soul mail wasn't coming through. Can you tell me your email address or DM me your email address so I can check that? Thanks, Sarah. Hi, Desiree. I got pap here, and yesterday I cooked potato curry, so I'm gonna reheat that potato curry. And it was a really, really delicious potato curry. It still is. As you can see, I'm going to add a little bit of water into the curry, mostly to give it more gravy. Because the gravy for me is like my favorite part. I mean, the potato is my favorite part. The gravy is my second favorite part. And my third favorite part is the chili and the spice. I was also thinking today, like, should I get rice or pap? And then, the way I make decisions, I follow what my heart is saying. So visualize the rice. How am I feeling? Visualize the pap. How am I feeling? Good. Okay, get pap. Pap and potato curry. I love it. I also love putu and potato curry. Thanks, Desiree. And I'm looking forward to it. I had this curry yesterday and it really blew my mind. It's number 2 on my list of memorable meals in the season. You know that number 1 on my list of memorable meals in the season is the vegetable stew that I made earlier on, sometime maybe in June, with the dumplings as well. So I'm glad that, even in this time, I continue to discover exciting foods that I think you should enter MasterChef. If you know of the application, send it to me. Send me the application. I might have to salt a little bit because I just added water. In the meantime, let's scoop. Okay, I won't scoop some pap. I think it will cool down. But I can boil some water for some milk tea. I'm not facing the anxiety that I was before. After the meditation, I fell asleep. It was time for my body to rest. And yeah, my body definitely did feel like exhausted. Sometimes anxiety gives you a feeling of exhaustion. You wonder, what effort, energy did I exert? And let me tell you, exerting mental energy also does lead to exhaustion. So just keep that in mind. If you stir with a knife or poke the knife, whoever eats, stir with a knife. What do you mean stir with a knife? I stirred with a spoon. I think you have to go on the MasterChef SA website. I did go on the website, and the last application there is not new. Is there anything you want to speak about? What's causing anxiety? That's what I mentioned. Anxiety often doesn't have a specific reason. So that's why I have to ask myself, is this from childhood? Am I feeling unsafe here? Do I feel excessively judged? Am I excessively judging myself? Am I heavily criticizing myself? Is there a real reason to be anxious? So I had to ask myself all of those questions. And really, I didn't get an answer. And I don't think the answer was necessary. What was necessary is that, what are you going to do about it, Sean? Now that you know what it is, because it's not just a vague, ambiguous feeling of fear and trembling, it's anxiety. So now that you know what it is, how you're going to deal with it, you're going to meditate. You're going to meditate, and you're going to slowly, like turning the valve on the pressure cooker, let that energy, because anxiety all emotions are energy. You're going to let that energy dissipate slowly, 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 and then the body just, calm at some point. And I got there, and then I fell asleep. Thanks, Sarah. If you want to learn the meditation that I use, I made a course. The link is in my bio. I bottle things up, not ideal. They come back as feelings, as memories. Very, very not ideal. Oof. Keeping in motion helps with purpose, of course. But let me tell you, meditation, there's no substitute for meditation. All types of feelings and emotions need to be dissipated, especially when they're negative, by sitting still with eyes closed. And it's a, if you read Dr. David Hawkins' book, Letting Go, The Art of Surrender, he mentions that you might, at the beginning, notice the anxiety. Then as you continue to meditate, it dissipates. You notice it again later. You notice it again later. What that really means is that your body was storing like a dam's worth of anxiety throughout your entire life. When you start to let go of it a little bit, it starts to feel like drops of water. At the beginning, you wonder, like, am I making progress here? Then, as time goes on, you continue meditating. You start to realize that from drops of water to lake-sized pools of anxiety being released in a couple hours meditation sessions, at some point you will get to a point in life where your body is no longer storing more and more and more. It's now only dealing with what it's presently faced. Whereas to the person who's not meditating, it's storing more and more and more. Sometimes we get so used to as well, we get so used to locking it away for another day that we don't realize that it's adding and it's adding and it's adding, and it's been adding from the time you were 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, and so on. But when you start to meditate, you start to let go of what was there for decades, and you stop accumulating, and you start releasing what your body and your life is presently experiencing only. Okay, let's scoop some pap. This pap is not firm. Let's see, I hope it's delicious. The spice from this restaurant is inconsistent. Sometimes it's seasoned well, sometimes it's not. Okay. If you want to learn the meditation technique that I use, I have a course through the link in my bio. And it's a very comprehensive course covering everything from posture to how to deal with thoughts, to how to deal with meditation objects, how to choose your ideal meditation object, how to develop a daily routine, and so much more. So click the link in my bio and get my course, get my meditation course, and put it into practice and change your life. The course is $350. And if you consider the lifetime value, it's worth it. I mean, I purchased Emily Fletcher's book on meditation in 2019. And then I started meditating consistently, and I've been meditating for 6 years now. So when you choose to invest in yourself on a skill that's going to pay off for a long time, it does pay off for a long time. Pays off forever and ever and ever. And once you have the skill of meditation, whether you use it to manifest your ideal outcomes, or whether you use it to dissipate your anxiety, or whether you use it to become more spiritually aware, those are all great reasons to learn how to meditate. And if you want to learn how to meditate, I have a course in my bio, which I made personally, by the way. All those lessons feature me, which I thought about what to say. I recorded those lessons. I even have sketches that I've incorporated to help you understand the concepts that I'm teaching. And it's a worthy investment. I don't know why I took a teaspoon. I don't need to take a teaspoon. But just remember that I'm going to need a teaspoon to make tea. Yep. It is. You can see how delicious this looks. Potato curry with pap. Let's make some tea. Okay, the water is going to boil, so don't mind that. I don't want to do the tripod today. I just want to do a simple setup. You in front of me. I use chili powder. You're having lamb curry. Did you cook it yourself? After today's day, this is what you need to come home to. Delicious. Hi, Ghost. This is pap and potato curry. The pap was not looking as firm as it usually does. I was concerned. But it's creamy and it's cooked well. The chilies are inside. One thing that I've learned about living in the CBD is that sometimes when I'm walking in the CBD, I have a reason to feel safe. But a lot of the anxiety is about, and I wonder if this is a content creator thing, a lot of the anxiety is about like, is that person staring at me because they recognize me? Or are they staring at me because they want to say something? Or why did that person look at me? Or what, like, are they talking about me? A lot of that background fear from the early childhood upbringing, where you're on constant hypervigilance. You're listening into every room. Who's talking about me? What are they saying? You're hearing every conversation. No door closed policy. Some rooms didn't even have doors. You weren't allowed to have privacy. You were looked at all the time. You were taught to be excessively self-aware. Like, what are you wearing? How do you look? How shaved is your head? Is the castor oil glistening on your face? Are you sitting upright? Are you standing upright? It's excessive curation of the self, to be also anticipating what others might be saying about you when they're not talking about you. I think we know now most people are thinking about themselves. But coming from that type of situation, I feel it now in the CBD. There's so much, and even now being on a platform like this, there's so much anxiety of like all the problems are just coming up. They're coming up to be let go, but it's definitely one of those things where especially when I'm standing in like a vast space and there are people walking around, nobody's thinking about me, nobody's noticing me, but deep down inside, my mind is active, is like, okay, that person just looked at you weird, they must be thinking about something about you, they must recognize you, I wonder if they're thinking negative things. All of that type of thoughts can be going on. They call it racing mind, anxious mind. I was experiencing that for like 2 hours. Like, did that security guard just come into McDonald's because they think I'm suspicious? Okay, why are they standing there? Why are they staring at me? Why are they looking at me? But I'm trying to sort out my OneDrive folders. But at the back of my mind, this thing is going on and going on and going on and going on. That, you know what, I do recognize that it's important. It's important that these things come up so that you can see it firstly, right? The subconscious becomes conscious. Then now you can do something to let go of it. And from Dr. David Hawkins' teachings in his book, Letting Go, The Art of Surrender, you know that letting go of it, it starts off feeling like it's not dissipating, and then over time it's dissipating heavily. Even decades worth of stuff is being, eliminated from your body. But the feeling in the moment is not nice. It's definitely not nice. Desiree, stop worrying about people. It's not so easy, Desiree. It's not so easy. Thanks, Mara. The Art of Surrender. My meditation course, when you buy the course and when you get to the part that talks about meditation on the formless infinite, there's a part of that requires you to sit with your discomfort. That's essentially what surrender is. Surrender is sitting with your discomfort, not trying to run away from it, not trying to lock it away for another day, not trying to ignore it, not trying to question its logical nature. Why is it here? What is it doing here? But rather feeling it entirely. And that's one of the beautiful things about my course, is that I incorporated the idea that feeling it is the way to make it disappear. We keep running from our feelings, we keep running from uncomfortable emotions, and then they keep building up in our bodies. Something mental and emotional, it's vibration, as above, so below. Your mental and emotional vibration at some point will manifest into flesh. So you don't want your trauma developing flesh manifestations. It might look like cancer, it might look like autoimmune disease, it might look like any other psychosomatic symptoms. If you keep locking things away, if you keep running away from things, if you keep thinking that it's resolved, but you just saved it for another day. I wish I would have known that back then, that the way to overcome the problem is to feel it, and the way to feel it is to meditate. Emily Fletcher's book did not really guide me on the type of meditation that I needed. It was very much business, professional focused, but it was a starting point. Then I started to become more spiritually aware, started to look through the religious texts, started to see these texts talking directly about meditation. And then I started to realize that observing yourself by closing your eyes is really like, it was the way. It was the way to deal with everything and anything. But it has become made into this Eastern thing. It's become made into this thing that only certain people can do. A lot of people say like, I can't sit still, or I can't get my thoughts to slow down. I mean, if you're telling me you can't lift a weight, how are you gonna go to the gym, right? Some people block even the starting of it. You can't sit still, but that's how you start meditating, by sitting still. You mean rather that you feel anxious about sitting still. That's normal. When people say, I can't get my thoughts to slow down, somehow you are feeling like getting your thoughts to slow down is an active effort. It's not an active effort. It's a result of doing meditation. It's the outcome of meditation. So if you can't get your thoughts to slow down, it tells me that you're not a meditator. That's why. And that's a good starting point. That's exactly where most people are. They're not meditators. That's why they can't get their thoughts to slow down. But when you start to meditate, then you start to see that after your meditation, your thoughts have significantly slowed. The trembling in your body, or whatever feelings it was, grief, sorrow, anger, anxiety, fear, guilt, shame, whatever negative feelings you're feeling, can all be dissipated with meditation. Take care, Sarah. Desiree, how much is your book on meditation? My book on meditation is 100 Rand. Remember, if you see, I think sometimes I also face this, I ask myself, like, I would buy a pizza for 100 Rand. I wouldn't buy jeans for 100 Rand. Why is that? Because my values are not aligned. Like something that will last me a long time, why wouldn't I invest on that? And that's why when you look at things like the Authenticity Blueprint, 5 steps to breaking free from limiting beliefs, being authentic and being unapologetically you. When you look at a book, if you're comparing the price to something instantaneous, it doesn't necessarily seem valuable. But if you're comparing the price to a long-term benefit that you're going to receive from that thing, it does then make sense. We do that with education, we do that with vehicle purchase, we do that with, if you're buying dry food items, you know that it's going to last you a long time. And so it's very important to start to also see that with personal development aspects. Like somebody's telling you you're going to have a tool to dissipate anxiety for the rest of your life, and the course only costs $350. If you really do care about taking control of your mind, taking control of your anxiety, stopping being at the mercy of volatile emotions, that's the first step. The first step is that I want to make this decision to invest in something long term. It looks like a one-time purchase. It's actually a skill. A skill builds as you continue to practice it. You learn the skills from the course, from 12 lessons. You watch the lessons, you learn the skills. But when you put them into practice, now they start to build, develop, and to add greater and greater impacts in your life. And you're very well familiar with the exponential model of progress, which shows that on a day by day, your progress is not building plus one, plus one, plus one. On day by day, it's building plus one, plus 1.01, plus 1.04, plus 1.10, plus 1.26. It's exponentially increasing. So at the beginning, especially if you have no guidance, you will definitely struggle with meditation, you will struggle with thoughts, you will struggle with sitting still and all of those things. But then you're not a master of your own body and you're not a master of your own mind. It means your body and your mind are in control of your life. And if you know anything about that, you know that sometimes subconscious patterns, they don't lead us in desirable directions. So if you want to be led in desirable directions, it starts with you making the decision that you want to be a master of your mind, your body, and in that way becoming a master of your life. You start with observing it, sitting still with eyes closed. And meditation might start off for some reason, like it did for me, dealing with an angry boss, but it really makes your life bloom and blossom into the most beautiful type of flower, beautifully scented, sweetly scented, beautiful in its existence, in its being, in its unfolding. And those benefits will come in time, but at the beginning, it starts with you recognizing that I can get a grip on this thing. Others have got a grip on this thing. Somebody's offering me a course to teach me how to do this thing. The course is a minimal investment for long-term value. Do I have the courage to prioritize that investment, learn the skill, practice the skill, and see the benefits? You can get my course at the link in my bio. I Blame Teeth says, you're a vegan, I'm a vegetarian. I also made milk tea. How's the cold by you? I haven't noticed the cold much. Hey babe, hey 300. How long did it take for you to see the results of meditating? Now I meditated for 1 hour, the anxiety is dissipated. So instantaneously, I guess. But in the past, when I didn't have guidance of what to do or what to look for, it was challenging. There are days when you'll meditate. Remember, when you meditate, you don't only, it's just like therapy. You don't only go to the therapist when you need therapy. You go to the therapist regularly and consistently to prepare yourself for those challenging days or challenging times. Similarly, with meditation, you meditate on a regular basis. So you're doing the daily dissipation of volatile energy or whatever it is, so that when you do get to a day where it's excessive, you have a grip on it, you have a handle on it, you feel like you can do it. But if you're that type of person that will only meditate when you face a problem, it's not going to be working for you, because you'll be thinking that you're looking for results. Some days, sometimes you might not see the result that you're looking for. It might feel like your anxiety didn't dissipate long enough. You might blame the technique, but truly it has to do with your intensity, it has to do with the time, and it has to do with your patience. And if you're not willing to offer intensity, time, and patience, then you're not going to see the results. It's like people, if you're looking for quick fixes, meditation is not it. By the way, let me tell you that. It's not a quick fix. It's a disciplined practice. It's for people who, you know what, you access a new level of power towards your life. And it's a power that many of us wasn't modeled for us growing up. You never saw someone with emotional regulation. If somebody was angry, the whole house knows about it. And you hear it 5 houses away, how the person is not able to manage their emotions. Similarly, I had that type of background. So learning about stillness, learning about meditation was very new. But then you start to see that emotional regulation in this world is a superpower. It's very much necessary. The power of stillness. Having a still mind, like one of my followers, Cam, mentioned he bought a new house this morning. And he mentioned to me, like, thanks, Sean, you inspired me to practice patience and observation before my purchase. Sometimes we make frantic purchases. Sometimes we make decisions out of stress and anxiety. And when you make decisions out of stress and anxiety, the quality of those decisions are not the same as decisions made out of peace, calm, stillness, and clarity. Hi, miss. I'm doing better now, thanks, and you? What did you cook today? I'm eating yesterday's leftover potato curry with pap. Shagzo, don't I say pap like everyone else? I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? So why is the lighting not giving? I should have better lighting than this. I was watching Tana Mojo's video, 27 Things I've Learned at 27, and boy, oh boy, was it hitting hard. The thing she said in that video, I was like, yes, I get it. Oh my God. How can this 27-year-old girl from the United States, grew up in Las Vegas, became a huge social media influencer, be saying things about her life that I feel in my soul I've also experienced those things. Beautiful video. I recommend you watch that. Thank you. The weather's the same. Like she spoke about She spoke about also growing up in a toxic, dysfunctional household. She spoke about also not feeling loved by her family members to the point that she was hanging on to the little breadcrumbs, and then in other relationships was searching for people that gave her little breadcrumbs of love here and there. That was one thing that really. She spoke about not everybody will like you, and that's okay. She spoke about not trying to convince people to like you. Like in her current romantic relationship, she's found a partner that loves her for who she is, and she's truly seen that you don't have to convince people to like you. You don't have to convince people to see you the way you see yourself. You can be yourself, and the people that vibe with that, the people that resonate with that, will find you. And I've been saying that if you are a fake version of yourself, they're going to find the fake version, and they're going to expect you to be the fake version for a long, long time. So just be yourself. Allow yourself to be rejected by people who are not into you, but you will find those people that are into you, and they will love you, and they will cherish you, and they will value you more than you ever thought were possible. So that video, I love it a lot. I'm gonna watch it. I didn't finish watching it. There's like 10 minutes left, but I'm looking forward to it. It's on YouTube. Tana Mojo, 27 Things I've Learned at 27. My meal is not as hot as it was, but it's still very comforting. Very delicious, very comforting. Be kind to yourself, love yourself. Don't be harsh at all. Don't be harsh at all. Sometimes we say, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Instead, we need to replace that and say, be soft on yourself. Be soft on yourself. Don't be your own military dictator. You don't need a military dictator inside your mind. Kanu, thanks so much. Thanks, Kanu. Sometimes if I'm facing anxiety or just feeling like I didn't make enough progress or whatever, I tell myself more love. You know, that's a message to me. Give myself more love. I visualize a green light radiating throughout my heart. You know, that's where the green ray energy center is. It's called Anahata. It's where the love power originates within your body, within your subtle body. So more love, more compassion, visualizing the green light. It must bathe my body. It must flood my body with love. I must feel soft. I must feel gentle. I don't need to hurt myself. I don't need to criticize myself. I don't need to judge myself. I can give myself softness. I can give myself gentleness. I can give myself love. And it really does make a difference. Shagzo. I'm so glad. Did you eat both the patties in one burger? In one burger? Or did you eat one patty? Or did you eat each patty in its own burger? Do you ever feel for chicken curry? If I do, I'll get on the green side tenders, or I'll get tofu. On the green side tenders taste a lot like chicken. I mean, it tastes very much like chicken. Each in its own. I had 3. Do you bought Beyond Burger? Does it mean you have one left? What I realized after I made that burger is that in the video, She had 2 patties in her lettuce and I only had 1. So in a future season, I want to do 2 patties in that protein style. Thanks, Dust King. Discipline is a practice. It's not an upfront expectation. It's a thing you practice over time. Okay, makes sense. Hi, Lindsay. It's unrealistic to expect yourself to be disciplined upfront. You build it over time. And with each new skill, like I remember in 2021 trying to meditate and struggling with an hour. I struggled with an hour. I could feel discomfort in my legs. I was waiting for the time to be over. I was wondering where, like, in 2021, when I was 2 years into meditation, I remember struggling with sitting still for an hour, waiting when it was going to be over, wondering what's wrong with me. How could I be meditating for 2 years and I'm still struggling with this? And then I realized that if the body has not been trained for this for a whole 24 years, how can I expect it to just be done in 2 years? It doesn't work like that. So when you choose to see it as a practice, when you choose to see it as a lifelong thing, I think that fear and anxiety holding you back is one of the biggest challenges as a human, that if you have a skill set to dissipate that anywhere, anytime in your life, it's a superpower. It's a superpower. And to help you develop that superpower, I made a meditation course which you can get through the link in my bio. And I personally recorded all of those lessons for you. I gotta charge the phone. Hi, Sam. Please don't take this lightly. I wish somebody in 2019 was saying to me, Sean, you've got to meditate. It's going to change your life. It's going to change your life. You're not just going to deal with the angry boss. You're going to learn that your whole authenticity was hidden behind a fake facade, that you were trying to give the appearance of niceness all your life to the point that you really betrayed every goal and dream you ever had in service of somebody else's needs. Your awareness will expand to the point that you can see through people's identities, you can see into their traumas and suffering, and you can also see how they're subtly trying to manipulate you and control you. You can see their insecurities. Your whole mind and body will change. You'll start to recognize that there was a mass of tightness in your chest that has been your whole life, and it's influenced why your shoulders were drooping like this with shame throughout your entire high school experience and more. And then as you start to release that tightness, you will be able to, lift your head upright. I wish somebody in 2019 would have told me all of the things that would have happened when I started meditating. You will finally understand what spirit means. At some point, you will come feeling your body, and you still have awareness. You still have awareness, and it feels clear, calm. You'll start to seek peace. You will stop wanting to be on a roller coaster, an emotional roller coaster, a volatile roller coaster, you'll stop thinking that that's normal, that you can live your life that way. In that way, you'll avert lifestyle disease disaster. You'll avert the disaster of heart attack and stroke and all of those things that come from excessively stressful lifestyle. You will instead start to choose peace. You'll start to choose yourself. You'll start to make decisions aligned with your heart. You will start to know if you're feeling chaotic around that romantic partner, they're not for you. It's not that you have to perform, you have to dance, you have to earn their love. It's that they're not into you, and that's what your body is telling you. You'll be able to trust your body's signals more. You'll be able to identify your intuition more. I wish somebody would have told me those things in 2019. Hi, Local Loafer. Is this a potato curry you cooked? Yes. I cooked it yesterday, actually. This is the leftovers. So nourishing. I feel like I love myself. I feel like by eating this, I love myself. I'm tasting love in this food. I'm tasting love. I feel loved. I love myself. Wow. My life is beautiful now. Even though I do have my moments of suffering. Thanks, Krishnan. Thank you. Thanks for your gifts. I'm sharing a meal with you, having leftovers from yesterday. What are you having, Lindsay? Don't know, but I can help. Hi, Gabby. Meditation, meditation, meditation. Compared to how I was feeling at 3 o'clock compared to now, I'm glad. Thanks so much. I'm so glad. Where's the cucumbers in the fridge? I told you by day 2, the spice is severely dissipated. Barely any sweat on my head. It's like, where's the spice? Hi, Trey. Where the cucumber is supposed to be? Probably as my side dish. I had a third of a cucumber left yesterday. But the spiciness is not asking for a cucumber. And the amount of pup I put on this plate tells me that if I squeeze something in, additionally, I won't have space for the ginger cake and peanut butter. So I'm also saving space for that. Yeah, B. Persistence pays. It's potato curry and pup. Don't lose people because you take them for granted. Just a lesson that came to mind. You saw Matthew Perry from Friends. They say he overdosed on ketamine because I don't know why. And then who else? Liam Payne. Liam Payne passed away. And whenever they talk about Liam Payne, they talk about what a sweet, gentle soul he was, so kind. The people that are leaving before their time, if you hear signs of someone like that in your life, if you feel signs of someone like that in your life, reach out to them to let them know that your presence is there. You keep hearing like, we don't know what people are going through, and from some of the comments I get, people don't give a fuck about what I'm going through. They want to twist the knife deeper, and they want to go full disembowelment. But if you ever notice somebody in your life is in a dark space or anything of that sort, just, are you okay? It matters. Ethan, you want all the shout outs. The gentle ones, the kind ones, the ones that are filled with light, they face the darkness more than the average person. Remember, the average person is running from the darkness. But the ones that are filled with light, like the healers, the pure beings, the innocent ones, they face the darkness, they see the darkness. They see how the world is not as it should be. They see how the world as it really is. And that can bring a lot of pain. It can bring a lot of suffering. So if you ever know any of those kind, gentle people, reach out to them and let them know, I'm here. Or don't let them know I'm here. Ask them, are you okay? Because sometimes your I'm here is too ambiguous. Maybe you could be more specific, like, would you like to have lunch sometime just to catch up? I know we haven't spoken in a while. Something like that. You wish you could look like me. Your genetics are... What? You want different genetics? Why? You know what else Tana said in that video? The world doesn't want us to love ourselves. When I watch Kylie Jenner, instead of thinking, how can I get that? What if I think good for her? I said this in a video, like, when you see somebody have something you want, instead of you wishing, why not me? Why don't you wish them well? Because you don't really want that. You want your version of it. Most people don't recognize that. And sometimes, I mean, you know this about social media, that it makes you feel like you're not enough. Especially when you're looking at those creators that are excessively curating their content, where you don't see any of the grittiness, the realness, the rawness, or the vulnerability. You only see the pleasurable moments, the happy moments, the joyful moments. It could make you feel like that's the entirety of their life. But it's not that way. It's really not that way. What must I cook? I'm almost done. Oh. Anyways, the lesson is still the same. Meaning, yet another one of the beautiful things that I learned from Tana's video. You'll find my recipes on YouTube. Go subscribe to my channel, Sean Mabir, on YouTube. I have a batch of videos to upload. Today obviously wasn't the day. I plan to write soul mails. I plan to clean my OneDrive. I plan to do a bunch of things. It didn't happen. I give myself grace for that. Today didn't turn out the way I thought it would. Try again tomorrow. No, Lindsay, that's too much for me to handle. For me to know what's going to happen is too much. How about you all make the jokes and I'll laugh? I had breakfast. I tried to get work done, but anxiety hit me too hard. I came home, I meditated, I fell asleep. I woke up refreshed and renewed. I'm now eating dinner. Thanks, Ethan. I hope I can also inspire you to make new choices, different choices in your life, to reevaluate your life standards, to take risks, to take courage, to try something new, to go after what you want. I hope I can also inspire you, not just entertain you. To use the canned sugar beans. I haven't bought sugar beans in a long time. I mean, preparing it. If I purchase sugar beans, I'm buying it cooked already. But if I were buying sugar beans I would buy it in a can, yes. There are only two things I want to boil. I want to boil split red lentils because they take less than 10 minutes to cook. And I want to boil split green peas because I can't really find that canned. But any other way, I'm buying it canned. Butter beans, I'm buying it canned. Chickpeas, I'm buying it canned. Lentils, I'm buying it canned, and so on and so on. Are you deep all the time? What does it mean to let your hair down? I don't have hair. I'm 31. I'm not 31. I'm infinite in age, but my physical flesh form is 31 of the earth years. 31 earth years, probably 50 more to go before I exit. Hopefully 50 more to go before I exit, but I'm happy to exit anytime. If the higher self says now is the time to go, I'm like, bye. In the beginning, how did you deal with balding? In the beginning, it was shame. I was like, what's wrong with me? How can I cover it up? How can I wear a cap all the time? Then I realized, like, too much problems. Just shave your head and get it over with. Nature, your genetics is telling you something, accept it. And then when I shaved my head, there obviously, I remember somebody in the family I grew up in was like, I could never do that. Well, then you deal with the insecurity, the anxiety, the excessive curation, trying to cover it up. You deal with all the problems if you can't do that. But I don't want to deal with the problems. I can let go of all of that just by shaving my head. And furthermore, I grew up with hair trauma. Remember, they told me my hair was like steel wool. They made racist remarks about my hair, like a cruise, excessively curly, like Bill Cosby, all of this type of bullshit stuff those family people were saying to me about my hair. I was in so self-hatred mode. I remember when I was 13 once, I didn't go to school because there was a little curl here. There was just a little curl in my hair in the sideburn. I felt disgusting. I felt like I was the most disgusting person on earth. I didn't go to school. I went to cut my hair, and the note said he went to cut his hair. The teacher was like, for this, you missed school for this? It was such a no big deal to that person, but to me, it was, I'm the most terrible, ugliest, disgusting person on earth. So now I don't have to deal with any of that. But here's the thing. I do have body hair, and my body hair has the same texture as the hair on my head. So just because I avoided dealing with the problems there doesn't mean now I must always shave my body hair all the time. So I had to start to develop self-love with my genetics. I had to develop self-love that, okay, Indian men, they look like this. You know, this is it. You will have hair here, there, and it will have curl, it will have a texture. It's like, it's your Indianness, it's your genetics. It's not who you are. It's your temporary flesh manifestation. But consider it beautiful because your ancestor was some of the most wisest spiritual beings to ever hit humanity. And that you get to have a body, that the lineage is there. Those people's heads were in the clouds. They were literally communicating with God on a daily basis. I have your genetics. Thanks so much for giving me. Now let's do the same thing in my life that you were doing 5,000 years ago. And if you're telling me that that was the destiny of the human, let me play it out and be done and be gone. Your jeans are blue. Rayan, such a strange question, but no. Remember, that's how they saw me. That's not the actual texture. It's actually beautiful, soft, and silky. Look at that. Beautiful, soft, and silky. But they didn't see beautiful, soft, and silky. They saw ugly and disgusting. Just to remind you that other people's views on you is not necessarily your views on yourself, and you don't need to see yourself how they see you. You also don't need to make them see you how you see yourself. If you're comfortable with who you are, if you love yourself, it's one thing being comfortable, it's another thing loving yourself. If you love yourself, that person will tell you you're so ugly, and then you just walk away. I'm like, I know he wasn't talking to me. To those in the chat that are talking to each other, like, are y'all developing some type of community, familiarity? What's happening here? Let me know. You're recognizing each other. Hey, how are you? I saw you the other day. Is that what's happening? There's a community building. Sabiha, I was eating pap and potato curry. I'm the leader of the community. What you talking about? I am head community member. If there's a community, I am head community member. It's a multiverse. It's a multiverse of Sean. A multiverse of Sean. I did think about that, like, kind of. I was watching the video of Eddie Murphy praising Keke Palmer. Is it Keke Palmer? About how she's done so many different things, and each thing that she's done has a unique identity, and it's not necessarily who she is as a person. And I thought to myself, hey, that's me. Like, I have a podcast, and on TikTok, sometimes I talk about food, sometimes I talk about childhood trauma, sometimes I talk about spirituality, sometimes I talk about meditation. I have a wide and diverse variety of topics, themes, and content to feed all sorts of palettes, and it really does feel like the universe of Sean. Do you still drink alcohol? Not right now, no. How would you deal with that trauma? It would definitely hit you really hard in terms of self-hatred. Like, your view of yourself, especially when you trust those people to show you the right way and they end up showing you the worst way, it alters your view of yourself. You look at yourself with hatred and disgust. What's the hint about? You asked for 2 shout outs. Now there's a hint. I can't click your profile picture. Are you hot? By the way, if you're texting me, please be over 18. I recognize now that, well, I've recognized this from the time I heard about James Charles and his problems, that sometimes people text you on the internet and you don't know how old they are. So immediately, if I can't determine your age, I need to ask you, because I don't want to be entering any jeopardous territory. Are you over 18? Make sure with strangers on the internet that you ask them their age. Ethan, if you want to take me out on a date, you're going to pick me up, I'm going to dress up, we're going to go to a nice restaurant, and you're going to settle the bill. We're going to have deep discussion and get to know each other. And if there's vibes and chemistry, we can have fun. Other than that, if I feel loved, if I feel seen, if I feel validated, if I feel spoiled, if I feel affirmed, if I feel recognized, I will consider going on date 2 or 3 or 4. But there's no really but. That's it. Rayan, aren't you standing there? Like, it's looking like you're standing with wife and kids there. Oh, it's not wife, it's 2 kids. Okay. How are we going to have fun? We're going to go bowling. We're going to watch horror movies, we're going to go to some type of nature, beach or dam, and you're going to read a book and I'm going to be drawing, and we're going to go to a coffee shop and we're going to enjoy the chill vibe, and we're going to go on fun drives, and I'll give you a drawing as a gift. Maybe I'll draw you. We'll cook for each other. I won't just be cooking for you, you'll be cooking for me as well, and we'll have a lot of fun. Selena, are you looking for high pyramids of taste? By the way, if you want to be an active fan of my fan club, you've got to send a heart me, which TikTok told me that. And when you reach certain goals in terms of your fan club, you unlock certain types of gifts, and one of those are Team Cheers. Bam Bam sent that yesterday. So if you want to be an active fan, feel free to send your heart me. Thanks, Pyramids. Pyramids of Taste. It's a restaurant. I remember, you don't read books. I've always had the fantasy of drawing somebody in the Titanic way. You know the Titanic way that I'm talking about, right? And I'm an artist, so you know it's not going to look crazy. Hi, Savvy. Hi, DW. Thanks for the heart me. Truthfully, I only started being into Indian boys this year. Because remember, I was dealing with self-hatred prior to this. So when I would look at them, I would look at I would always think, you know what? You know what's so fucked up? I would think I'm not Indian enough to date an Indian. What the fuck did they do to me? Not them, but the ones that were responsible to my upbringing, for me to believe that I'm not Indian enough to be loved by another Indian person. Oh my God. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, DW. Haven't seen Level Up Sparks before. It looks delicious. It looks like a peach cake. You're not Indian enough. Yeah, that's how I felt. Because I never really shared characteristics of the people I grew up around. They would always remind me how, oh, you Tamil, we Hindu. Your father was Tamil. We're not Tamil. You got curly hair. We like straight hair. You got dark skin. You're in the sun too much. You hear all of that, and you end up having a warped. You end up feeling like out of the box. You're just wrong. You're wrong for existing. Thanks, Drake. Drake is in my chats. I didn't reject you, Ethan. I didn't. I'm open to it. I'm open to it. Nirav. Remember Nirav? Who remembers Nirav? I didn't reject Ethan. Ethan, send me a DM if you're serious. Thanks, DW. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thanks for you guys who remind me that I am somebody. Thanks for that. Thanks, DW. Are you eating dinner? What's for dinner? Do you cook or does your partner cook? You do cook. I remember you bake breads. There's an Indian boy called Kivan. Is it Kivian or Kivan? Sorry, Kivan. I had to block Kivan because I was like, I can't keep looking at this. Sometimes you block someone because you don't want to look at them all the time because, yeah, I do remember. I even have the vision of the loaf that you sent me. It had a hint of, I think the lighting made it look like, there was a slice down there or a knife or something, and I remember the loaf. They want to look at you though. Sorry, I'm not understanding. What are you saying? But you keep looking at me. They want to look at you though. Explain. I'm missing that. What are you saying? I had some sausage with peppers. Amazing. Yeah, it does sound nice. Peppers and potatoes are an iconic combination. Peppers and potatoes. It's giving breakfast. It's giving hash brown, especially with the sausage. It's giving like fry up breakfast. Something I did today, I listed on my notes app every vegetarian fast food item that's delicious for me in the CBD. Just to remind myself that there are so many options. I realize now also that I love savory breakfast. TW, do you love savory breakfast? Ethan, do you love savory breakfast? Breakfast vibes, sausage. When I was in grade 1, I read a book. You know, they give you those level 1 books, level 2 books, level 3 books. When I was in grade 1, I read a book and somebody was cooking sausages and potatoes. And I remember, I want to make this. I was 6 years old thinking about cooking. I want to make this. The only sausage that was available was the Fry's vegetarian. I was eating meat at the time, but somehow the Fry's vegetarian sausage, it looked what it looked like on the book. It was not, it was drawn in a cartoonish way. It looked like what it looked like in the book. The potatoes, I made it, I ate it. It was so satisfying. I did make it myself. At 6 years old, I remember making it myself. I also love Veda and tea. Hey, crazy freaky gay dude. Thanks, TW. You're a savory boy. Don't really have a sweet tooth. Here's a question. As somebody that's dated for a long time, do you get made breakfast in bed? Is that a thing? Do you get up any morning and think to yourself, I'm going to make breakfast for my partner in bed? Do they make it for you? Thanks, TW. Okay, I'm going to have dessert. As you know, I'm just going to have one ginger cake with peanut butter, and that's going to be my dessert. I said send me a DM, Ethan. But on another note, thanks for making me feel special. Thanks for making me feel seen. Thanks for making me feel like even worthy of dating. Thanks for making me feel like I'm even desirable. You know, it's a nice feeling. I've known for a long time that I'm a catch. I just was dealing with self-worth and self-esteem issues for a long time. So I attracted low-value men that only sought to use me to service themselves. But then I'll show you what's a ginger cake. But then now I see no, those that I've dated, I'm like the beautiful trophy husband. And I'm not just a beautiful trophy husband. I'm an artist. I draw amazing building sketches. I cook delicious foods. My apartment is neat and clean. I'm ordered in terms of aesthetics. I love space. I love peace. I meditate all the time. I'm a deep thinker. I'm an interesting person. And all those things only started to come through for me. Mostly lately after I started meditating. Thanks, DW. How does your partner feel about you saying affirming things to other guys? Is that something? Do you have agreement on that? I appreciate that. I'm not the type of trophy husband who's just pretty to look at. I'm skilled. If there's a need for a leader of a country, it's me. If there's a need for a new movement, it's me. If there's a need to pioneer a technology, it's me. If there's a need to usher in a new era of love and light, it's me. I definitely feel that my greatness is still untapped. I really look forward to, who I am now. I think 60-year-old Sean is really groundbreaking, earth-shattering. I think the impact of 60-year-old Sean, the impact of 50-year-old Sean even, superb, immense. Wow. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad. We're not the jealous type. Yeah. Tana spoke about that, something similar in her video, which was like, he loves me at my best and he loves me at my worst. And he's not, I think, as partners, when you have a life and when you have a life, you don't feel like you don't feel like if your partner's looking at somebody else, that they're not happy with you. And I wish I knew that in the past. That if my partner is looking at somebody else, they're probably beautiful, they're probably attractive. Anybody would look at them. But that doesn't mean you're less than. That doesn't mean you're not wanted. That doesn't mean, oh, okay, he's now gone. No, it's not a reason for insecurity. And I wish, thanks for the puppy kisses, thanks for that. I wish in the past, wow, beautiful. I wish I could tell my past self that if you are secure within yourself, you will feel less turmoil. But if you are insecure, then you're going to feel like him looking at somebody else is because he's not happy with you, doesn't want you, something's wrong, there's a problem here. We need to, they call that anxious attachment style. Hi, Babish. Anxious attachment style. Is there water in this kettle? DW, there's a movie called Weekend. Did you watch Weekend? Thanks, Gabby. He is spoiled with me around. I'm glad. I'm glad. I like that you mentioned that he's spoiled with you around. I trust that he knows that, and I'm sure you are also spoiled with him being around. Whenever you see, I don't know, it's tough to not be modeled healthy LGBT relationships. Instead, be modeled the tumultuous relationships from media. So when you finally get into a space of like feeling that you're worthy of love and then having a real healthy relationship where you are loved for who you are, it can be such a game changer. And somebody said recently, like, if you've been traumatized so much, maybe you just need more new experiences showing you that life is not like that. Are you a model? If you're a casting director, yes, I'm a model. I'm such a giving person, but I know to appreciate receiving your rose. I'm glad. I'm really glad. Sometimes we can feel guilt for receiving. No, don't just receive a little, receive a lot. Hi, Saraya. Oh, these are ginger cakes. Gabby, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but these are ginger cakes. Thanks, DW. Okay, ginger cakes, I usually spread peanut butter. To those that are still here, are you still sticking around for... I thought you can... What? I love that the chat is, so filled with all the... It feels like Love Island Sean edition. From Ethan to, anyways, thanks for that. Don't know, man. Should I go on Love Island? Is there an LGBT version of Love Island? Like, can I pull you for a second? I see that you're, developing a connection with him, but I really want you to know that I've had my eye on you since you walked into the villa, and I wonder if we could explore something here. You want to join me? Love Island. I'm entering MasterChef. I'm entering the Great South African Bake Off. I'm going to win MasterChef, and I will also win Love Island. There's a new season of Perfect Match out. I don't know if y'all watch Perfect Match, but my only two favorite dating shows on Netflix are You the One and Perfect Match. I haven't watched season 3 of Perfect Match yet, only because I have some things going on this week. But also, I don't want to unnecessarily put myself into sexual territory. So if I don't want to feel sexual, I'm not going to watch a dating show. Hi, Don. Oh, you're watching Perfect Match. Louis is in season 3 of Perfect Match, and I keep wondering, like, some of these guys and girls, they're on dating show number 2, 3, and 4, and they're still hopeful. I know it's, there's a lot of career benefits to being on one of those shows, your following and all of those things. But the idea that you have three public dating show fails with those relationships, who's going to trust you now? Who's going to trust you, Louis? Or maybe it's not about that. I'm eating a ginger cake, and I just spread some peanut butter on it. Here's the ginger cake. Jolly Gingers. I think it's 12 Rand or something. Freaky gay dude. Are you hot? From what I'm seeing on your profile picture, oh my god. Oh my god. I'm scared. Okay, then I just got a little bit of milk. I don't know about you, but when you get to the stage of the milk being over and it doesn't pour out through the lid, do you cut the box? Somebody asked me recently, like, with the United States or international opportunity, would you accept corporate work? I thought to myself, for anywhere between $100,000 to $200,000 per annum, would I be prepared to accept corporate work? And then there's a part of me that says, Sean, corporate environment is where you are literally thrown back into the dysfunctional, toxic environment. You will repeat the same trauma. There's no new version of you that's better for it. I always thought there would be I'm healed now. It doesn't happen like that. So to continue to be my own boss, to continue to be an entrepreneur, to continue to make my life into the free life that I want by selling my products, by selling my services. By the way, get my meditation course to the link in my bio. That's the way. What else can you eat on a ginger cake except peanut butter? Nutella? The ginger cake is not like the ginger biscuit that you know about, where it has intense ginger flavor. This ginger cake, it's light in its gingerness. It has a depth, it has a richness. It's not too gingery, so you don't really get this if you're like a ginger fan. You get this if you want a hint of ginger. But adding the peanut butter for me is delicious. I would add another spread, maybe Nutella. I wouldn't do jam. Actually, I do have jam in the fridge, but jam, when I think about it, it's scaring me. Do they have other variants? Not in the store that I went to. Warren, I cooked the potato curry yesterday. The gingerness is almost like molasses. It's like some dark, rich something. Can I spread the peanut butter on you? No. Leandra, have you seen it before? Do you know where to get it? Thanks, Rascal. And I love that you keep coming back. Keep coming back for more. If I've had some of the THC, I could probably eat 3 of these. They are dense. You don't want to eat too many. They are filling. What did you get up to today? Dawn, most of my day, well, you know my plans. Write the soul mail, schedule them, upload the YouTube videos, and also clean out my OneDrive. But then I was facing overwhelming anxiety. So I had to come back and meditate. I meditated for an hour, dissipated the anxiety. My body was so exhausted, fell asleep. And so today was one of those days where I don't feel like I'm giving myself grace. It didn't go the way I thought, but it's ending in a better way than what was happening earlier, especially due to how meditation has helped me out. Peanut butter cookies. These are what's peanut butter cookies? I've not seen red ones, and if you're telling me they're red ones, I need to immediately know what flavor and where do I get it. Also, to any in the chat that have found Julie's peanut butter, okay, Julie's peanut butter sandwiches, that's what you're talking about, Jay. I told you that Julie's peanut butter sandwiches are in macro. They're in macro or they're in some, it's not common here. Let me tell you, when I found it, I at first didn't know what it was, but I'm a fan of peanut butter, anything. So when I first found it, I was like, what's this? Let's try it. Now I'm like, okay, it's so good. I want 50 of them. Give me the whole bag. Give me all, when I'm close to a macro, someday in my macro season, when I'm like living my house husband, suburban dreams. I don't dream about being a husband. I dream about healthy love. But when I'm living my healthy love, suburban dreams, I will have my pantry like Khloe Kardashian, and there will be Julie's in there, definitely. I only discovered Julie's at 31 years old. It took me 30 years to discover Julie's peanut butter sandwiches. There's no going back. Because I'm not understanding. You know what? Send me a DM. Let's talk about it there. Jay, you asked a colleague to bring some from India. Does your colleague care that much that they will bring it from India? I don't always get these ginger cakes. I've only ever got them once before, but it feels like something I need every 2 to 3 months. Okay, I'm glad. Also get savory plantain chips, not the sweet ones. Savory plantain chips are iconic. If you're frying your plantains, that's also delicious. I love fried plantains. I love making my own fried plantains. By the way, I went back to the store that had Julie's peanut butter sandwiches, and They don't have any more. Are those like banana chips? It has a peppery taste. Plantains don't have a peppery taste. They have a neutral taste, but the savory one, the sweet one just feels wrong to me. When I'm eating chips, I don't want to eat sweet chips because it's tasting like dessert. I want to eat savory chips. That's why I like the savory ones. Do you have a non-stick frying pan? No, I don't. The only pot where I have is stainless steel. Hi, RV. I'm doing well, and you? I only have stainless steel. I don't trust non-stick. The coating on non-stick is known to be toxic, so that's why I purchased in my previous season cast iron. Not in my previous season. When I was living in Claremont, the season before Kenilworth, I purchased cast iron because I don't trust the non-stick coating. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of things that I stay away from. Gas fumes, non-stick cookware, plastic kettles, mold. I've lived in places with mold. I've seen my immune system decrease in strength. I've seen breathing problems from living in moldy environments. So I definitely now know that, you know what, Sean, you can't be doing that. You must really hate yourself if you're choosing to consciously live in a moldy apartment without reason. Easter egg. I don't avoid Easter egg. I remember as a younger person, I did avoid the marshmallowy of Easter egg. There was even this pink marshmallow. The idea of marshmallow disgusted me. I couldn't eat it. I would bite off the chocolate around the Easter egg and then throw away the marshmallow. And then over time I grew to enjoy it. But now I don't eat marshmallow that often anymore. Things with gelatin inside, I'm not so much a fan of. I was standing in line at Spa 2 days ago, and all of the jelly sweets were there. I looked at each packet looking for one that's not using gelatin. I would eat it, but I just prefer not to. I'm looking for one, and the only one I found that used cornstarch is I did find one. That's the point. But out of 20 variants, you only have one. My Wi-Fi is not connected. Woolies has a lot of gelatin-free. Yeah, I did see that. In 2016, I dated a guy. His name was Justin. I dated Justin, and whenever Justin would come over, he would bring a bunch of snacks. He would bring Oreos, Woolies sweets, like a tub of them, biscuits. It was just a whole junk food time. But Justin was 420 friendly, so the snacks were very much necessary. But that, other than blessing, that was the most somebody has treated me. And I don't even think that was for me. I think that was for him more so. So I have had instances in the past of being spoiled. I have. And so it's not really unfamiliar now that I reflect on it. I love being spoiled. Gifts are one of my love language. Hi, Salvan Pillay. Okay, the final bite. But as you know, like, just because I say to a potential somebody on the internet, take me out on a date, you already know that I take myself out on solo dates all the time. So I'm not really asking for somebody to give me something that I'm not giving me myself. What I'm really saying there is that I give myself all of these things. If you are to be worthy of dating me, you've got to give me those things that I already give myself. My cost is $350 Farhan. It's a $350 investment for a lifetime of skills that will greatly benefit your mind, body, and spiritual awareness, development, and especially if you, I mean, with any skill, you've got to practice it. But regardless of where your starting point is, let's say you start off with wanting to dissipate your anxiety. Soon enough, you're going to be uncovering subconscious patterns. You're going to be having memories from the past of things you've hidden away. You're going to be seeing the world in a new light. You're going to be discovering greater potentials within yourself. You're going to be being more attuned to your heart and your high intuition. It starts unfolding like a flower. So I really encourage you to invest. It's not even an investment. I mean, $350. I really encourage you to invest in that course, especially if you want to grab greater control over your mind and your body, and you don't want to be really controlled by them anymore, because our bodies have cravings, our bodies have feelings, our minds have all of these things going on. Sometimes we can end up in life circumstances that are not aligned with what we want. So when you start to take control of your life, when you start to take control of your mind and your body, you start to be the master of your life, and you start to shift your destiny to a more greater extent to the average person. Okay, that's all I'm going to have. One was enough for me. Thanks for all the gifts on the live. Thanks, DW. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Bam Bam. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for all of the likes on the live. There are almost 10,000 likes. I'm glad you appreciated dinner. I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me. Thank you for being here. If you want to join the community, simply follow me on TikTok. You can also follow me on all of my other social media. I make content for Instagram, X, YouTube, and Facebook, so you can find me everywhere. If you want to watch any of my live replays, you'll find them on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Sean Mahabir. So subscribe to my channel there. Help me reach my subscriber goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And if you want to learn how to meditate, you can get my meditation course. The link is in my bio. This is especially necessary for those facing anxiety. And I want to remind you that anxiety, it's not random. You can isolate it, you can dissipate it, and you can be free from it. Not necessarily once and for all, but regularly. Because as a human in the society, in physical reality, you will face stress and anxiety just by virtue of existing, just by virtue of taking action on things. But when you have a skill set, when you have a tool to be able to dissipate that anxiety whenever, wherever, then you are no longer an emotional mess. You are no longer a mental mess. You now recognize, okay, today was one of the most challenging days I've ever had. I'm going to meditate for however long it takes for this stressful, anxious feeling to disappear. And maybe you will have meditated for 3 hours, and then you come out of it and like, that was good. Meditation is kind of like a spa treatment for your mind. So don't underestimate the power of meditation. I talk about it all the time, over and over and over and over. I cannot emphasize enough how powerful meditation is, and I made a course to help you do it. I recorded those lessons myself. I intentionally thought about what do I want to teach in this course, in those 12 lessons. And I intentionally thought about like, how can I use my drawing skills to make some of these concepts more understandable to the average person? There's a bunch of extra materials in there. You get some free ebooks as well. Go check out the landing page. You get a bunch of free things. I think I give you the digital meditation planner for free. I think I give you meditation for beginners ebook for free. Wow. Okay. I kind of forgot about that the meditation course has a bunch of free items. But anyways, go get my course and start to take control of your mind, your body, and start to steer your life in the direction that you truly want. Do you like salt? I like Celtic salt. I like pink salt. I like Himalayan salt. I like kosher salt. I don't like Cerebos iodidated table salt. I don't like table salt. I like sea salt. I don't like iodidated salt. I just want pure salt. So, yes. Kivola, how old are you? I'm 31. I like all the salts except table salt. This will be my dessert for tomorrow. Ginger cakes. Whoever created this, it's so simple, but so impactful that I'm like, you won the jackpot of making an impact. Of changing people's lives, you really did that. Your ingredient list is so normal. Like the only weird thing here is calcium propionate, which is a preservative. Thanks, Mr. Bala. Thanks for that. Yeah, whoever did this, MS Food Brands, whether you bought this brand or you originated it, you did something great here. And I think that, people that do make simple foods, which I do that, I'm sure you've noticed now, I even realize it. People that make simple foods look extraordinary. You're doing a gift to the world. You really are. Because people often are running for the fast foods. You're running for that burger. You're running for the McDonald's. They have all of these chemicals, which I do eat them. Don't get me wrong. They have all of these chemicals to make us go wild. Thanks, Mickey. Thanks for joining the fan club. All of these fast foods have chemicals to make us go wild. You know when you're eating that burger, your eyes are rolling back in your head because that's what it's doing to your taste receptors. So when you find something simple like this, that's so impactful, that it has understandable ingredients. I understand these ingredients. It's not a chemical factory. There are not too many E's or any of them. It's so special to me. Okay, I'm going to go now. I wish you a wonderful evening. It's Monday. Visualize positive outcomes for the rest of your week and take action on those things that matter to you. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself at all. Be soft on yourself, be gentle on yourself, and be kind on yourself, and give yourself love. Notice internally in your body how you're feeling. Get my meditation course, which will teach you how to notice, how to be still, how to handle anxious thoughts, how to dissipate anxiety, and so much more. And once you start to recognize your internal patterns, the quality of your thoughts, how your feelings are happening, you can start to say, no, let's go this way instead. No, I want that actually. You're not ruled by fear, stress, worry, and anxiety anymore. You start to become a master of your own life. And you're only going to do that once you practice the discipline. Remember, discipline is not something you need to know up front. It's something you build over time. You start to develop the discipline of, I'm now feeling like I'm in greater control of my destiny. My destiny, my outcomes, the things that I want for my life. Start with meditation. The link is in my bio. Get my meditation course. Don, what you going to get up to? I'm going to watch Tragedy Girls. As you know, I started watching Tragedy Girls 2 days ago. I actually yesterday or 2 days ago, I can't remember. I was watching The Wailing. I was not into it. By 1 hour 50 mark, I was not into it. I stopped. I was like, you know what, Sean? who we are now, yeah, me referring to myself as a we, I'm talking to myself as if, well, okay, anyways, who we are now, if I'm, even if I'm 2 hours into a 2 hour, 30-minute movie and I'm not into it, I'm done and I'm moving on. The idea that I should see something through that I'm not into, it doesn't make sense anymore. It doesn't make sense. So I stopped that movie. I watched Tragedy Girls, but I was too tired. But some interesting things are happening there. It's smart. It's a horror comedy. It has Josh Hutcherson. It has Jack Quaid from The Boys. You know, Josh Hutcherson from the Maze Runner, not the Maze Runner, from the Hunger Games. And yeah, it looks like it's smart, quirky, funny. There are definitely horror elements. But I want to see what happens to those characters. So I'm going to watch that movie. Then when I wake up tomorrow, I've got things to do. I've got to schedule the week's worth of soul mails. I've got to upload a whole bunch of YouTube videos. I've got to clean out my OneDrive. So this week, it has some things going on. And then somebody reached out to me about writing an article from a not necessarily about me, which even if they were, that's great, thanks for that, but to feature me. And then I sent them the responses to the questions and they didn't say anything. And it's been a while that they didn't say anything, like 2 weeks. And I texted them today, hey, any update on this? And I didn't get any response. So I don't like that. Manishka, if you're watching, please communicate with me, especially when you asked me for those questions. You gave me 2 days to give you the response, and I gave you the response in 2 days. And then you don't say anything, you don't give me an update, you don't tell me when the article is going live, you don't tell me that you're going to allow me to review the article, you don't say anything. That's weird. It's very weird. Improve your communication game. Johnny boy, did you finish cooking the habaneros? I cooked the potato curry yesterday. Today I just ate leftovers. Yeah, today I just ate leftovers and I had this for dessert. Okay, and the peanut butter. This was a great decision, buying a 1 kg peanut butter. If you're a peanut butter fan, I definitely recommend. But I did soak some dal, so maybe tomorrow I'll be cooking dal. I'll be doing a dinner live where I'm actually cooking. Which, by the way, all dinner lives don't have to be me cooking. That's too much pressure. I don't have an entire production team. If I did, I'd be making a cooking show. I'll be making an official cooking show. You know, somebody to buy the ingredients, somebody to edit my video. All I need to do is show up, host, be an energetic, personable personality, create exciting, interesting, educational, inspiring content, and so on. And then somebody else takes care of putting the shots together, the sound, merging the mic with the scenes, all of those. That's what I need. But that will come in time. Okay, I want to wish you a wonderful evening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me for dinner. Get my meditation course to the link in my bio and subscribe to my YouTube channel. My goal is 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Thanks for 10,000 likes on the live. Thanks so much for the engagement. I really do appreciate that you take the time to join me. You take the time to come here. You take the time to engage on my live. You choose to spend your time with me, you know, your precious time. You choose to have dinner with me. I value that a lot. Thanks for that. Thanks for being here. I'll see you again next time. Take care. Have a wonderful evening. And yeah, bye.